Hey y'all, welcome to AE Unplugged, where adult learning gets real, raw, and a little bit personal. I'm your host, Camille, and every episode we dive into the stories, voices, and experiences that shape how adults learn and grow beyond the classroom. So get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, and let's get into it. Today's episode centers on something that so many adults go through but rarely talk about openly: pivoting careers. Not starting for the first time, not following a straight path, but shifting into a new direction after years committed to one identity, one job, or one version of yourself. We'll be exploring the emotional and potentially financial and deeply personal process of reskilling and starting over and rediscovering who you are when the career that you once depended on no longer fits. And today's guest is someone whose journey embodies that courage: Karine Ford, or as I like to call her, Mom. A woman who made the decision to pivot, to relearn, and redefine herself in adulthood. Her story is honest, powerful, and rooted in real transformation. Karine is a native of Hampton Roads, Virginia. She's a mother of two who started her career in business after attaining an accounting certification with a concentration in computer applications. Karine brings more than 25 years of experience in retail management and customer service. Throughout her career, she has worked across both big box and small store environments, including over two decades with Burlington Co. Factory, as well as roles with Marshalls, Skechers, and several men's apparel retailers. Her leadership journey includes managing a training store where she was responsible for developing and onboarding new retail management staff and supervisors. She later expanded her skill set by managing a storage facility, further solidifying her reputation for operational excellence and customer centered management. Across every role, Karine's approach has remained consistent. Customers and staff come first. She thrives in people focused environments and finds purpose in serving the public, building relationships, and creating spaces where both employees and customers feel supported. With that being said, I'd like to welcome you all to my mother, Karine Ford. Hey, Ma!
Hey,
How are you doing today?
fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm hanging in there. First of all, I just want to thank you for taking the opportunity to talk to us a little bit about your story. I think so often, and I will be real and 100%, you are always supporting us, and us is in me and my little brother, as your kids, but like we rarely have allowed you to have the opportunity to speak your story. And so I'm grateful for you to take this opportunity, because I think even in this setting, I'm going to be learning a bit more about you and how you approach your work and do the things that you have done over the years. So I'm excited. I'm very excited, Ma. So with that being said, can you take a moment to just tell us about yourself and your story?
First of all, again, yes, I'm caring for a mother of two. Um, had to learn a lot, did a lot of different things, but most of all, change. I tell anybody, don't be scared. Um, you might be a little nervous, but as we always say, failure is not an option. Been in retail management 25 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, big box stores, small box stores. Um, my thing is I love being around customers. I love learning. Um, I love teaching. Because basically if anybody would have never took the time for me, I wouldn't have been able to be as far as I am right now. Not gonna lie, it was hard. And when the kids were young, trying to work the long hours, making sure that y'all needs were met. Had to have that backbone because if you didn't have that village, you wouldn't have been able to do it. Being said, like I said, I worked a lot of long hours, sometimes 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Get back up, do the same thing again. Um, After a while, you want to change, you want to do something different. The big box stores kept me busy, 45, 50 hours plus. Small stores, 40 hours, 40, 45 hours. But in the last 2 or 3 years, I took a change from the big box stores. I wanted to do something different. Um, Decided to dibble and dabble a little bit in the school system. So yeah, I'm a mother working a full-time job and part-time with the school system. Man, I'm still having that interaction with people, meeting new people. I've never had a problem with meeting people. Um, Always smiling, being encouraging. But now working in the school system, deal with special needs kids.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with adults. I've learned, I've met a lot of people, and again, like I said, in the school system. And once you start talking, it's easy. Like I said, it's easy to meet people. So it's like I've never met a stranger. So
Yes.
I like it. Like I said, it's like a 8:30 to 2 job. I get to talk to other people. We get to talk about how their days are going, family issues. I mean, just something different. And with that aspect, I don't have to worry about anybody coming in the store trying to take me away or discourage me. But in the meantime, I'm able to give that encouraging word.
Right.
I have my favorite students that look for me every day. I see you tomorrow. Like I see you, and then it's always good. By the end of the week, they always say, "Have a good weekend," and I was like, "Do the same thing too." And just that smile makes me feel good. The special needs kids when they come in, they make you feel good, but when you also in turn you can make them feel good by saying, "Hi, how you doing today?"
Right.
I like that outfit you're having on. Just again making an interaction. Um, I decided to do that because I was bored during the daytime. I do have a part-time job. I supervise a small crew at Bass Pro Shop where I'm still able to do my management skills,
Mm-hmm.
training, development. Also, I still get to use some of my accounting skills because I'm inventory control, skill integrity. So again, I'm still getting to use the skills that I were able to build and use over the last 25 years ago. Like I've always told the kids, our thing was failure is not an option. Um, I worked at a storage facility, never thought I would. Still met my customers. Being there to help them to answer their questions and giving them an alternative, which is good because again, like I said, if anybody hadn't did it for me, I wouldn't have been able to be able to process it and help others.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. You covered a lot of what I want to kind of dig a bit deeper into as we continue our conversation. So thank you so much for sharing that, mine. I will for the people who don't know, like I would have never expected my mom to leave retail and jump into this education system. I knew that was my thing. Did not know that was my mom's things at all. So we're gonna dive a bit more into that in a little bit. But before we get into all of the nitty gritty and things of that nature, Mom, because I wanna turn back around to that. I want to ask you this initial question. What was the moment or the series of moments that made you realize that it was time for a change?
Time for a change when you didn't get to spend that family time. You didn't get to do things you wanted to do. It was like, I need you here. I need you to do this. I was like, wait a minute. You don't have time for yourself. Stress because you're working when you're not at
Mm-hmm.
work. You're working at home. You're answering questions. Volunteering to go to help at other stores and do other things. I was like, no, uh-uh. Even though I still deal with my customers, I was just at the time, I was like, I need a change.
Right. And you mentioned in your bio, and I want to kind of bring this back up too. You spent over 25 years working in retail, and the one that took the bulk of it was Burlington Coat Factory, correct?
21 plus years, yes.
Yeah, I know you used to. They used to call us the Burlington babies.
The Burlington Babies, yes.
Yeah, I know they used to call us the Burlington babies. So I kind of want to get into like I know a role like that would have had to have shaped a huge part of who you are as a professional, right? So was it like difficult to make that step away from Burlington? Like what were some of your
No,
thoughts when it was time?
no, it wasn't. You get a time, it's like, you just get tired. You get fed up, it's like, nah. I can do something else. I
Yeah.
can do something else. I'm spending too much time. I'm missing out on things. Not gonna lie to you, I was kind of scared making a decision, changing, but like, hey, what's there to lose? Because I can always go back into retail management in a big box store.
Come on now.
Um, you just, you just felt it was just something in me saying you can do better. You can do something
Yeah.
else.
You mentioned that it was a bit scary, right? So I'm interested, like what were some of the scary feelings that you were having, and what were some of the thoughts that
Um, you get
you
that
know?
nervous feeling in the inside, that little shaking, like, can you do it? I was like, yeah, 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 anything, I could do it.
were
Like
you
I
were
said,
you specifically? Oh no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
it's like, like I said, if it doesn't work, you can go back. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been back to Burlington probably like 2 or 3 times. The last time they called me back,
So
and
you're saying you left Burlington a couple of times and came back?
yes,
Uh
I
huh.
first started out in Burlington in 90. Let's say 91.
Ooh.
Yes, 91, 92. I worked for them for like 2 or 3 years here in Hampton Roads area. Then I moved to Maryland. I came back to Virginia because my father got sick, so I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I went back again in 99, 97, right when I had you. I went back in 97 and I did it for a while. And I was like, is this what I want? And then I was just able to build my way up from just a regular department manager to an assistant, well, customer service manager. And from customer service manager, I went into operations. And with operations led me into being my manager's right hand person. So
Mm-hmm.
I can run a store. I could pretty much tell you how to set it up, any troubleshooting, because I had everything from technical to customer service, operational, equipment, you name it, I did it. So after a couple of times of me losing managers and me still have to run the store as being an operation manager, I was like, is this something that I still want to do?
Ooh. I know that probably would have
Um,
been a bit like challenging, you
it was a
know.
lot. It was a lot. And it's been a couple of times where I ran the store from 4 months to 7 months without having a store manager. And it's like, it was just too much. And my mind kept saying, you can do better. You can do better. So
Yeah.
I searched out for
Okay.
something else different. I was like, I can do this.
Okay.
I
So
got it.
when you first started searching out, was it a point where you were like, I want to still do something with like operations management, or were you like trying to shift
You just want out.
altogether? You just
You
wanted
just want
out.
it out. I want out. You get to a time when you stay it up, and it's like, mm, I mean, you feel like you get tired of not getting the recognition, but
Mm-hmm.
when you decide to leave, oh, we appreciate you. I'm like, no, you should have gave me that while I was here. Nah, I'm fed up. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy? You say that. You know, I'm an individual that has hopped a job or two to make it work for my needs. You know, so I've been the same way, right? You work, you work, you work, you work, and then you feel like you don't necessarily get the recognition that you deserve. And then it's when you are submitting the 2 weeks or the 3 4 weeks, however long you decide to put your notice in. That's when everybody wants to do the appreciations. That's when we
But is
want to
it?
do the recognition moments, and we want you. We're. I hate to see that you leave and things like that, which I get it. That's a part of the traditional processes when
Traditional.
someone leaves. But it's also like, if I would have maybe felt this validated in this moment while I was doing the work, maybe I would have stayed a little bit longer. That's my opinion. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
Same thing, but like I said, another thing too, it's not always money because at the end it's like, what can I do? Let me go.
Mm-hmm.
No, and it's not always about the money. Sometimes you take a pay cut, but you take a pay cut sometimes for peace of mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
peace of mind pretty much suffices over everything. Sometimes it's like, hey, I missed the money, but you don't miss the headache. You don't miss the sleepless nights and get the late night phone calls. It's a break in at your store, the alarm's going off 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Nah,
I
So
yeah.
you just get fed up. It's like,
It's
I can do better.
I understand. I definitely understand. So I think when we're talking about pivoting careers, like, were you expecting any type of hurdles? Whether that was, I know you mentioned it, like financial differences. Were you expecting that initially, or were you trying to find a role that was paying the same, or were you maybe concerned about what the new work environment looked like? Like, what were some of your thinkings or your thoughts as you were trying to pivot over?
My thoughts was, it was just getting out, making myself happy. Um, like I said, sometimes it's for the pay, but just again that peace of mind, that calmness, not being jittery. Because for a fact, we could be out and my phone ring. Hey, I need you to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, no, I'm out with
Mm-hmm.
my family. No, so you just want a job where you can go to work, go home, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's
So
what I want.
when we talk about, career changes and pivoting, right? Like we said, when you work in a certain role for so long, you develop some type of skills. When you were doing your searches, doing your interview processes, etc., did you know, like, deep down, like, I've gotten what I've needed to get out of this role, and now I'm gonna take what I've learned and go apply it somewhere else? Was that any of your thoughts?
Always, yes, because you always take what you learn for one job and take it with you and you build on it. I tell anybody that's because you learned something somewhere, you just don't forget that. Again, I still have a passion for customers, for people in general. Training, like I said, being that go-to person, which I am now, always will
Hmm.
be, seems like. Um, you never learn anything and just forget about it and put it in a corner.
Yeah.
You build on it. And by you building on it, you make yourself a better person,
Yeah.
as well as you helping yourself and as well as being that resource person for another, because you're a counselor sometimes, you're a confidant, you're the doctor. I mean, you're everything for your people. So pretty much sometimes it's not your days, you don't always want to smile, but I was always told smile because you never know, you might make somebody else's day. And I think that's what helps me to do the daytime, because right now my students smile all day long and
Yeah.
I smile back.
Yes.
And
Yes.
even when I'm out shopping, they're like, "Are you doing? Are you for yes," because I still have that same smile. No
Hmm.
matter what, smile and keep going.
Yes, yes. So I wanna touch on that. So we take Burlington, and then now we're working kind of like a dual role now, where we're still working like operations management to a degree, but now we've added this new thing of being in a school environment. So I want you to, number one, talk about what your environment is like, what you in your new still operational management type of role, but then also talk about what that balance looks like taking on a new role, such as working in a school system.
Um, the balance is good because, like I said, right now at the school, I'm there in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
5 days a week. Um, my full-time job, like I said, I'm a supervisor at night. I'm still balancing that management aspect because again, I'm in charge of a big company's inventory,
Mm-hmm.
making sure it's processed, um, making sure it's to the floor in a timely manner, making sure that if there's any shortages or whatever, I'm still getting that accounting stuff in. So again, the skills that I had, I'm still building on them. Again, I'm training sales associates to notice when something's wrong, maybe inventory error, receiving error, or whatever. Again, I'm still there to be able to teach them and to show them. We just implemented a new a system called Sims, where you basically in the system it tells you where things are located in the store,
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. It could be on the sales floor versus the stock room. So I'm able to let my people know I have to train them how to find the different locations. So again, I'm still able to be in that role, being efficient, making sure that they're doing what they need to do, as well as me pivoting around, making sure I can go look at the paperwork or whatever. So again, I'm balancing a lot, but still, again, I'm still engaging with my sales associates, my people.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I want you to talk to me a bit more about you working in, like, how do we get to the school? That's my biggest question I've had for a while.
Oh,
How did we get to the school?
I was just pivoting. I was like I said, during the daytime, I have nothing to do. It's a job opening for the school. See, so I applied, and when I ended up applying, and she's like, "You have so much customer service skills," and I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "And we need somebody that's gonna have that cheerful smile." Um, and interact with other people and definitely be interacting for the students. I was like, sure, you can do it because value. We woo the kids and everything in retail when my customers and the babies and everything. I was like, sure, I can do it. And we ended up talking and it was funny. She said, "Where do you work at?" I said, "Bass Pro Shop." She's like, my mom works there. She does? I was like, okay. And time went by, I guess. She said, "So if you're interested in the position, we're gonna do a background check and fingerprints." I'm like, okay, I've never been in any trouble. It's gonna work. It's gonna be fine. Less than 2 days, I got a call back. So I was like, reality is really hitting. It's happening.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's, it's moving fast. So the transition, I was up and ready to go within less than a week. I was like,
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
Um,
So
and it
what
was
was that
interesting.
like, getting these two new jobs and you moving from the trainer to a degree to now you're back to being the learner? Like, how was it? How was that like, being the learner now, learning these new environments, these new roles, these new jobs?
Wasn't hard because again, I'm still dealing with customers. I'm still dealing with people. That part wasn't hard at all. Um, Even at Bass Pro Shop, it was still some of the same things I was doing, but not so much being the number one person. Hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
this is you. So I actually had another position where I could share with somebody else. So it was a partnership. So it's like it wasn't like nothing I didn't already know, but I just needed to learn their way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking what you learn in one role and applying it in the, I always say this, you applying it in the context or the mold that is needed for this environment.
Exactly
Um,
right.
I'm the same way when it comes to me pivoting like different roles or different institutions in my higher education journey. Like, I have the foundation of what my role is, but then I can take that foundation and mold my experiences and how I approach that role into what is needed for this new school,
Correct.
this new environment, what this new job requires. You know, the principles are always going to stay the same, right?
Yes.
The base steps are always going to stay the same, but you
Have to adapt to
yeah, you
the way they're
adapt.
doing it.
Exactly, exactly. And I think a lot of employers really enjoy that, right? And I think they look for employees that can make that quick shift in that moment, because it can sometimes be difficult. Like, I feel like anytime a new employee is hired, you take a risk, right? Because it's somebody who
Yes.
ain't never worked in this specific role before. Now it's a learning curve that has to happen, right? And so I
Yes.
think you leveraging your expertise from previous roles is awesome, right? And I think everybody should be able to continue to take a page out of that book because it suits them well, you know?
Yes. And like I said, don't be afraid. Just step out.
Yeah. So I wanna talk to you about your learning environment. So when you were being trained, were there, like, was it on the spot? Like, did you have a point person or a mentor to train you? And I'm talking in both roles, both at Bass Pro Shop and at the school system, or was it like courses? Was it like self learning? Like, what was the process like for you to get up to speed?
The process at the school, I was teamed up. I had a buddy. I was teamed up with a buddy for like a week, and then they sent me on my own. So yeah, I was her shadow. Um, I watched the different things that she did as far as prepare stuff for the students, and basically ringing a register. What everything is set up now on a computer, so long as you can read, count, you're good. Um, and like I said, I was in basically training for a week, and then all of a sudden, the person that I was replacing left. So I was like, "Boom! It's your go. Hey, it's your time to shine." So that wasn't hard at all. Um, at Bass Pro Shop, we did a lot of e-learning. We did a lot of courses online, like I did at Burlington Coat Factory. So with there, I was the one actually teaching, showing them how to do it. So again, it was pretty much the same thing that I did there, but just me on the other end learning. It was a lot of courses that you did on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of stuff hands on hand as well. But basically, the logistic was and your online training, your certifications, and everything else was basically hands on hands. I trained at Bass Pro Shop on the computer system probably like a
Okay.
week and a half. But we're still ongoing, still ongoing training because when something new comes up, we have to make sure we learn it so we can implement it to the employees. So that's an ongoing um, skill set learning. Um, like I said, everything was
Okay.
computer, and like I said, I was teamed up with a couple of associates.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I kind of want to throw like a curveball question in there. I think, and it's my assumption that this may have been a bit more easier for you because you already had computer experience, like you got your certification,
Experience, yes,
etc. Do you? How would you approach this if somebody who didn't have that computer experience to get in? Because now we're in the age of digital literacy, right? And so,
yes.
how would you tailor? Like, let's say if you were the one training in this instance, how would you kind of come in and make that learning curve for the individual who doesn't necessarily have that learning experience? Have you had that type of thing
Yes,
before, or?
I've had that. With us, I actually have the tools, as we call them, the little cheat sheets
Mm-hmm.
through. Because, like I said, we just implemented a new program called Sims. Um, I also have the handbook, and all throughout the building where we go on the material that we use, we have information that's there. So I'm actually able to give them the information. I can tell them where they go to get the information that they need on the system as well as the handbook. So we have a lot. We have our own board that we have posted different things that come up. Um, Announcements, and I always make sure that we direct them to the right area or to the need to the things that they need. So again, I'm that in between person. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to make sure I get it, but I also can direct them to the learning resources that they need.
Yes, yes, ma, I love that. I definitely love that, and I was hoping you would hit that target because I am literally the same way when it comes to how I train folks. I understand. I come from the context of like student affairs, race life activities, so like I come in knowing that I'm probably gonna get new team members under me that have never either one had a leadership role before or two created a program, right, or engaged with residents on a or engaged with other folks on a really like personal deep mentorship type of level. And a big thing that I had to learn going into my first professional role is that I can't go in assuming that everybody has the same level of expertise that I do, you know so I too had to tailor how we do our processes and how we train because we have to meet people where they are at.
Yes.
And I truly didn't understand the importance of that until I want to say it was my first year in my previous institution, and I think we were talking about like health and safety checks or something like that, and I was like, y'all don't know how to do this. And my team looked at me like, no, we were never trained that. And immediately I had to say, okay, let's take a step back. Let me kind of gauge what you do know so that I can meet you where you at and get you up to speed. And I think we talk about this in my adult education program all the time. We're like facilitators, whether you are teachers, whether or not you are program curators, whether you are nutritionists, you have to assess the people that you are bringing in. You have to assess
True.
the people that you are training and then curate whatever your learning environment is for those persons that will help them get to whatever the learning target is that you're trying to set, right? So I love hearing that you had to kind of do the same things in your roles. And that was the whole reason I brought up the question anyway, because it shows that, like, even if the professional field of adult education isn't necessarily your direct career field. You've been doing the legwork in that area for so long. A trainer is that. A trainer is an adult education facilitator. That's workforce training. So I'm glad to hear that you have those experiences, and I was able to kind of connect those 2 points because it shows that your approach to how you supervise folks can be adapted for so many other persons as they continue to gauge how they can best train their new workforce or their new people coming in, new employees, etc. So thank you for sharing that. I kind of want to take the time to talk about identity for a second here. Um, you, as we've stated and established, that you are a mother of two. Do you? I'm not gonna ask you to share your age, but you said you had me at 97 and it's 25, so we at least know the minimum, right? So with that being said, because you never asked the lady her age,
I
so with
said
that,
it. I said it.
you'll say okay if you want to.
Yes, I am 58 years old.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Still
58
learning, still
años.
striving, still always open for opportunity for learning
Yes,
something new. Yes. And people like, I'm like, yeah, I am.
yes. And the reason I bring that up is because we have a moral and a principle in our program that says we as adults, period, are lifelong learners. Whether that
Yeah.
is us picking up a cookbook, whether that is us learning how to fix something on our car so we don't have to take it to the shop. Like there's always going to be opportunities for lifelong learning. The reason I wanted to bring this up in terms of identity and in particular surrounding age is because is there any point in moments or a moment that you believe that because of your age that it would have been somewhat more difficult for you to transition to a new role? Do you
No.
believe that other folks may experience that?
I have learned that because in the last week or so, we've hired a couple of people at my full-time job
Mm-hmm.
that are older. And like you said, you have to go at it a different way as far as training them. Um, and as far as me, no, I didn't because I was like, hey, I'm good. Um, like I said, age is just a number.
Right.
But
Come
like I
on.
said, certain people learn at different capacities
Yes.
and at different levels. I'm not gonna lie to you, COVID spoiled us. So when you couldn't touch this, couldn't do this. So now I tell my people, if you don't want to write it down, take a picture. It lasts longer. Keep it in your phone. So
Yes.
that's what we do with a lot. That's another new tactic that I do with my older people. Yeah, it works.
I
If you don't
love
want to
it.
write it down, that's what we do.
I
So
love it.
yeah. Um. Again, it's I love it because everybody needs to learn, no matter older or younger, and you just have to take it at a different angle, how you teach them how to do it. So yeah, this last 3 weeks, it hasn't been a challenge. It's just been something different I had to deal with.
I love that. I love to hear that. So do you feel like kind of because you have taken on this new role that you have kind of like almost built a new version of yourself at this stage? Did you foresee
No,
yourself did you foresee yourself changing into this degree like
um, like I said, I just wanted to do work at a less stress capacity than what I was doing.
right.
Again, I don't have to count the money. I don't do none of that. I don't deal. I deal with the customers a little bit at night when I go in, but it's still at the same capacity of teaching and authority, giving authority, making sure things are done, but it's just at a different level.
Okay. Okay. So my next question I guess would be like what do you wish more people understood about adults who choose to start over?
Um, Not just adults, anybody can start over.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid. The sky's the limit. Be happy in what you're doing. And I always say, whatever makes you happy, do it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I guess this can be my final question for you. Looking forward, what excites you the most about starting this new chapter in your life?
being confident, being happy, and not stressed.
I love it. I love it, Ma. Thank you, thank you. So, thank you so much for taking us just a bit into your journey of like workforce training and career pivoting. Um, I have a segment that I like to do at the end of AE Unplugged called the final spark, right? And truthfully, the final spark is an opportunity for me to leave folks and for a guest to leave folks with a final thought, or a piece of advice or even a challenge, right? And so listening to your story today, it kind of reminds us that reinvention is a calling. And we have all heard that quiet voice inside of us that refuses to let you settle for a life that no longer reflects who you are. And so, what we talked about today in career pivoting is just that, right? It's just that level of bravery. It's just that aspect of you listening to that whisper, listening to that new voice. And so, even now it's an opportunity for you to say, I am still becoming. This is not all of who I am. So let me take that next step, right? It's clear that you pivoted because you knew that you deserve more. And whether that be more joy, whether that be more fulfillment, more alignment in who you are as a professional, who you are as a mother, right? Your journey honestly challenges us all to kind of think about, where in my life have I stopped believing in my own possibility? And then how can we move past that? Right? So the truth is that, and this is kind of my final spark overall, is that it's never too late to really rewrite your story, as you said. It's never too late to kind of choose yourself. And it's never too late to take a step forward to a future you once that you once thought was kind of out of reach. I'm always, and you've kind of instilled in us my whole life, is like, keep going. Make sure your foundation is straight, but keep going, right? So overall, that's my final spark, is to allow people or to challenge people to question themselves, like, what have I done to stop my own possibility? But also, like, how can I keep going? That's my challenge for folks. Is there any final thought or final spark or challenge that you have for our viewers watching today?
My thing is, take a look at what you're doing. If you're not happy, take the next step. Don't be scared because you can find yourself and just be happy. No matter what, again, like I say, smile.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I want to give a huge thank you to you, my Karen, as the folks will be calling you. A huge thank you for you being here and for sharing your story. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to another episode of AE Unplugged. If today's conversation has spoke to you, please make sure that you like, make sure that you share, make sure that you subscribe, and always remember to keep learning, to keep living, and to keep it unplugged. Talk to y'all soon.